Avengers Baseball. I am RC Robbin. Thank you for joining me. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. So this is a created franchise on MLB The Show 20 for PlayStation 4. Imagine if the actors of the Marvel Cinematic Universe were to play baseball against major leaguers past and present, and that's what you'd have here on the screen. As you can see, the Avengers have been wedged into the National League West division. They're in second place, one game behind the LA Dodgers. They have a 36-21 record. 2 months of the season have gone by. We're approaching June. Let's jump into the calendar and play some baseball. 3-game losing streak at home to the Arizona Diamondbacks. We start a 3-game set against the Miami Marlins. Let's go. Few organizations games. Play game. All preceding games will be simulated. Do you want to continue? Okay. Play full game. We are the home team at Crosley Field, which is the designated ballpark for the Avengers. Looks good. Tom Hiddleston, Loki, is the starting pitcher. Let's go. I like it. Let's rock and roll. These are your lineups. So I hit, I pitch, I field. I do not run the bases. I let the computer run the bases for me. And the difficulty is set at All-Star for hitting and pitching. Welcome to Avengers Baseball. I also like to do play-by-play, so hopefully it's not too painful for you. Welcome to Crosley Field as the Miami Marlins visit the Hollywood Avengers. On the mound for the Avengers is Loki. Tom Hiddleston making his 12th start of the season. His record is 7-3 with a 4.73 earned run average. Leading off for the Miami Marlins is Trey Turner. 233, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. He also has 15 stolen bases. Here comes the first pitch of the ball game. Fastball is high, ball one. Avengers at 36-21, good for second place in the NL West. That is Chris Evans behind home plate and Idris Elba in left field.
First pitch, 7-11.
Two-seam fastball inside, count is 2 balls and no strikes to Turner. Trey Turner plays for the Washington Nationals in real life. Outside, count is 3 balls and no strikes. Will he have the green light on 3-0? Howie Kendrick is on deck. Checks the swing, but it's in there for strike 1. Hitters count 3 balls and 1 strike. Pulls the fastball foul, and the count will go full, 3-2. Strike 3 called. Right at the knees, the changeup. Caught him looking, and there's 1 away. Here's a replay.
The second baseman, Howie.
Too close to take. So next up is Howie Kendrick, hitting .308, 6 homers, 20 runs batted in on the season. High fastball, strike 1. Swing and a miss. The two-seam fastball count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Howie Kendrick. Swing and a miss. The high fastball struck him out. First 2 hitters are down on strikes. Here's the replay.
The right fielder, number 34, Bryce Harper.
2 down, bases empty. Up steps Bryce Harper. 316, 17 homers, 45 runs batted in on the season. Sliders inside, ball 1. Deep drive to right center field, but Don Cheadle is there. War Machine makes the catch to retire the side. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Miami Marlins. At the end of a half an inning, it's Miami nothing. The Hollywood Avengers coming to bat. On the mound for the Marlins is Julio Urias. making his 12th start of the season. His record is 3-4 with a 6.79 earned run average. Leading off for the Avengers is Anthony Mackie. 327 homers, 38 runs batted in. He plays Sam Wilson in the Marvel Universe. Fastball outside, ball 1. Marlins are 22-35 in last place in the National League East. That is Max Muncy at first base, and I have no idea in the outfield. Changeup outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Mackie. Swings at the 2-0 pitch, drives it to center, but not deep enough. Right in front of the warning track, he makes the catch for out number 1. Starting lineup for the Avengers, Anthony Mackie's at short, Tom Holland's at second, Chadwick Boseman is at third, Chris Evans behind the plate, Robert Downey Jr. is at first, Mark Ruffalo is DH, Dave Bautista's in right, Idris Elba's in left, and batting ninth and playing center field is Don Cheadle. 364, 9 homers, 41 runs batted in. The amazing Spider-Man steps to the plate, Tom Holland, and drives a base hit to left. The first hit of the ballgame for the Avengers. So they have a base runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Here's the replay.
The third baseman, number 20.
Next up is the late, great Chadwick Boseman hitting. 351, 8 homers, 25 runs batted in. He has been a powerhouse at home, hitting well over 400. Runner at first, 1 away. Oh, caught him off first. Throw to second is in time. Caught stealing at second. 2 outs, bases empty now for Chadwick Boseman. Grounds it to his counterpart at third, over to first. No runs, 1 hit, but none left on. At the end of 1, there's no score. In the top of the second, Max Muncy's hitting 269 on the season. Steps in to lead off. Comes a pitch from Hemsworth. Check that from Tom Hiddleston. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Outside corner, called a strike. Count is quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Max Muncy. Pitch is low. Count is 1-2. Deep drive to right. Back to the track goes Bautista. Drax the Destroyer makes the catch for out number 1. Defensive alignment for the Avengers in the outfield from left to right. Idris Elba, Don Cheadle, and Dave Bautista. And in the infield is Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Mackie, Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., with Chris Evans, the first Avenger, behind home plate. So next up is Yadier Molina, the catcher, 288, 4 homers. Check that, 6 homers, 29 runs batted in. Comes a pitch from Loki. Late on the fastball, grounds up the first base line, strike 1. Looks like it might rain here in Crosley Field. Shallow fly ball. Oh, it may get in there. Nice over-the-shoulder catch for the second baseman, Tom Holland, for out number 2. Little confusion out there between the second baseman and the right fielder, but they got the job done. So 2 down, bases empty. It upsets Nicholas Castellanos, the right fielder. Check that, the left fielder. He's hitting 288, 11 homers, 32 RBIs, and check that yet again, he's a designated hitter today. Pardon me. My good. Grounder too short, backhanded by Mackie. Throws to first, in time, cut the check, and the side is retired. It's a quick inning for Loki. After 1.5, there's still no score. Leading off here in the bottom of the second is Chris Evans, 292, 6 homers, 26 runs batted in. He is a switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty Urias. Breaking ball low, ball 1.
1 ball, no strike.
Slider outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Down and in, 3 balls and no strikes. On deck, Robert Downey Jr., 3-0 count. Will he have the green light? No, he will not, because they do not swing on 3 balls and no strikes. Slider inside corner, 3-1. Hitters count. The shackles are now off. Let's see what happens. And he skies it, pop up, shallow left center field. And Trey Turner makes the catch for out number 1. Defense for the Miami Marlins in the outfield from left to right, Keon Broxton, Oscar Mercado, and Bryce Harper. And in the infield, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Trey Turner, Howie Tendrick, Max Muncy, and Yadier Molina behind home plate. So next up with 1 down is Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, 276, 6 homers, 29 runs batted in. And he yanks the ball down the right field line, out of play for strike 1. Slider misses outside. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the first baseman, backhands it. Muncy takes it to the bag himself, and there's 2 away.
Batting 6, the designated hitter, number 84.
So up next, the DH, the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, 335, 11 homers, and 45 runs batted in. Leads the team in homers and RBIs so far this season. Fastball outside, ball 1. Bases empty, 2 away here in the bottom of the second. And that ball is high. It is far. It is gonzo. That is a solo home run for Mark Ruffalo, a Hulk smash. Home run number 12 on the season. And just like that, the Avengers have an early 1-0 lead. Chance it might go foul, but it stayed fair. Boom. Little body English to keep it fair. Projected distance 417 feet. So next up is Dave Bautista. Drax the Destroyer, the right fielder, 297, 5 homers, 25 runs batted in. Fastball is inside, ball 1. Pitch is outside, count is 2 balls and no strikes. Slow 2-hopper to the third baseman, Guerrero Jr. throws to first in time, and the side is retired. But they do get a run on the solo homer by Mark Ruffalo, and at the end of 2, it's the Avengers 1, the Marlins 0. So we go to the top of the third. Up steps the third baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., hitting 257, 5 homers, 26 runs batted in. Here comes the pitch from Loki. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. Vlad is 7 for his last 22. It's a 318 clip. And he just gets a piece of the changeup. Count quickly falls to no balls and 2 strikes. Deep drive to center, but War Machine Don Cheadle barely has to move. He makes the catch for out number 1. Standings in the National League West, as you can see, the Hollywood Avengers are in second place, a game and a half back behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've taken the place of the San Diego Padres in the NL West. Next up is Keon Broxton, playing left field today, position player, backup, giving the regular guy a day off, sitting only $167. in limited at-bats. Grounds it foul up the third baseline, strike one. Jams him with the two-seam fastball, counts quickly. No balls and 2 strikes on Broxton. Swing and a miss, chases the slider out of the zone. That's strikeout number 3 for Hiddleston. Wins leaders in the National League. Chris Hemsworth is tied with Cy Young for the most with 9, but as you can see, Tom is right behind it. 5-way tie for second place with 7 wins. So next up with 2 away, bases empty, Oscar Mercado, who's been cold in his past 5 games. Overall, he's hitting .257, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. Here comes the pitch. Outside corner, strike one. Fastball inside, count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. And he pulls the changeup foul, count is 1 and 2. Just misses high. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty, top of the third, 1-0 MCU. Here comes the pitch to Mercado. That's a deep drive. Back goes Idris to the track. The wall looking up, makes the catch, and crashes into the wall for the final out. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. Nice play by Hemdahl in left field. Let's watch the replay. Makes contact with that wall and makes the catch. 2.5 innings. MCU leads 1-0. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd, and speaking of Idris Elba, he leads off, hitting .302, 4 homers, 23 runs batted in on the season. Pops it up behind home plate, foul territory on the first base side. Yadier Molina makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away. The NL East standings, Miami Marlins are in last place, 15 games behind the New York Mets. Next up is Don Cheadle, War Machine, the center fielder, .330, 8 homers, 34 RBIs. Switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty. And that is a fly ball to center. There is Mercado, makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Lineup turns over for the Avengers. Anthony Mackie's 0 for 1. He flew out in the 1st. Steps up for his 2nd plate appearance. And he rolls over it down the 3rd base line for strike 1. Jams him. Shallow fly ball to left. There is Broxton. Makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Urias. After 3 innings of play, 1-0 lead for the Avengers. So we go to the top of the 4th. These guys are not calling the game. This guy is calling the game. I am RC Robbin. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. This is Avengers Baseball. 162 games from start to finish. No skipped innings, no simulated games. All of them on YouTube. This is game number, I think, 58. First pitch to Trey Turner is fouled off, strike 1. And he jams him down the right field line. Long, diving attempt by Dave Bautista, but he does not come up with it. Count, no balls and 2 strikes to Trey Turner. Checks the swing, but pitch is in there on the inside corner. It's again, I think, strikeout number 4, if I'm not mistaken. 1 away. Howie Kendrick steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout. Pops it up. And the catch is made by the first baseman, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th. Pitch speed comparison brought to you by Topps Playing Cards. It's a 97-97 tie between these 2 starting pitchers. 97 miles an hour. 2 down, bases empty, upsets Bryce Harper. 0 for 1. Fastball inside corner, strike 1. 7 for his last 20, hitting a 350 clip. Change up inside off the plate, count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Chases a 2-seam fastball, count is 1 and 2 on Harper. Hard line drive up the middle, but played perfectly by the shortstop. Anthony Mackie cuts the check. The side is retired after 3.5. It's a 1-0 lead for the Avengers. Leading off in the bottom of the 4th is Tom Holland, who singled in the first inning. He's got that average up to 367 on the season. Curveball outside and low, ball 1. Fastball inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Spider-Man. Late on the fastball, 96 on the radar gun, count is 2 balls and 1 strike. And he pops him up. Foul territory behind home plate is the 3rd baseman, Guerrero Jr., makes the catch for the first out.
The batter, number 20.
Next up is Chadwick Boseman. Late great Chadwick Boseman is 0 for 1. He played T'Challa, Black Panther, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fastball is high, ball 1. We lost Chadwick in 2020 to his battle with colon cancer. Backs him off the plate, 2 balls and no strikes. He lives on here in MLB The Show. And he pulls the fastball foul down the left field line. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Chadwick. And again, he ropes it into the seats. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside with the fastball, count evens. Check that, count goes full, 3 and 2. Here comes the payoff pitch. And he walks him, so it's a 1-out walk for Urias. Runner at first here in the bottom of the 4th for the Avengers. Next up is Chris Evans, Steve Rogers in the MCU. This is his 2nd at-bat. He popped up in the 2nd inning. Runner leads off first. 1-0 lead. Pitch out, but Boseman was not stealing the bag. Count is 1-0. In the dirt, blocked nicely. Throw to first, not necessary by Yadier Molina. Count is 2 balls and no strikes to Evans. Just misses outside, 3-0 count. Will he have the green light? Nope, he will not have the green light. I don't swing on 3 balls and no strike counts. And he walks him, 2 straight walks. So he gets the first out here in the bottom of the 4th and then proceeds to walk the next 2 batters. So we'll have a runner in scoring position for Robert Downey Jr. Robert is hitting .274 on the season, grounded out in his first at-bat. Get a chance to extend that 1-0 lead. And he grounds it to the right side, knocked down by Howie Kendrick. He throws to first, not in time. It's probably going to be an infield single. And yes, scorer's decision says it's an infield single for Tony Stark. And the bases are now loaded with Avengers, with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Next up is the Incredible Hulk, who homered in his last at-bat, number 12 on the season. And he chases the first fastball for strike one. Bases are juiced. Count is 0-1 on Ruffalo. Slider outside. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Hulk is hitting .357 with runners in scoring position so far this season. And that is a line drive. It will probably be deep enough to score the run. Tagging at third is the runner. He will score. It's an RBI sacrifice fly for the Hulk, and the MCU now leads 2-0. I'm sure he dreamt about a grand slam, but he'll take the insurance run. Next up is Dave Bautista, 0-for-1 runner at first and second, 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth. And that's a line drive headed down into the right field corner, and it will roll all the way into the corner. 1 run will score. The second run will go to third base. It's an RBI double for Dave Bautista, Drax the Destroyer, his 14th double of the season, and the MCU now leads 3-0. Pitching coach for the Miami Marlins heads out to the mound to cool things down a bit. I am RC Robbin, and this is Avengers Baseball. Welcome to the stream. Up next is Idris Elba, who popped out in the third. He's 0-for-1. First pitch inside corner. No. Off the plate, according to the home plate umpire. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Elba. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth. And he pulls it into the seats for strike number 1. Elba's hitting .304 with runners in scoring position this season. And he fouls it off upstairs behind home plate. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Idris. Hard ground ball to the first baseman. Muncy takes it to the bag himself to retire the side. But they score 2 times here in the bottom of the fourth. And after 4, it's the Hollywood Avengers 3, the Miami Marlins nothing. This is Avengers Baseball. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We go to the top of the 5th. Max Muncy, the first baseman, flew out in the second. He's 0-for-1. Swing and a miss at the fastball. 96 on the radar gun. Strike 1. Tom Hiddleston plays Loki in the MCU. Today is the debut day of the Disney Plus television show, streaming TV show. Swing and a miss at the slider. Count is quickly 0-2. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest seeing it. The Loki TV show on Disney Plus. First episode's really good. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Hard line drive caught by Tony Stark. He is Iron Man. And there's 1 away. ERA leaders for the teams in the National League. As you can see, the Dodgers are in first place in the division, and they lead the ERA race, 386. Second place is the Avengers. So 1 away, bases empty, top of the 5th. The catcher, Yadier Molina, is 0-for-1. In there, strike 1. 41.3 WAR. WAR means wins above replacement. It's a difficult stat to explain in a short amount of time. Out in front of the changeup, swing and a miss, strike 2. Count is quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Wins above replacement, WAR. The higher the number, the better. It's cumulative. It stacks like home runs or RBIs. Once you have WAR, you don't lose it. Fastball outside and low. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's basically the idea that if Loki, the pitcher here, had a WAR stat, wins above replacement, the average, if he has a WAR of 5, it means that Loki being on this team represents that 5 more wins the team would have 5 more wins because he's better. That 5 wins better than a similar replacement. Line drive racing over from the left field and over his head. War Machine cannot get it. He rounds first and heads to second. It is a 1-out double. And the Miami Marlins have Yadier Molina on his 12th double of the season have a runner in scoring position with one away here in the top of the fifth. Just couldn't get it. If you couldn't get a glove on it. Next up is Nicholas Castellanos, 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second. Fouls off the slider, strike one. Swing and a miss. The fastball count is 0-2 on Castellanos. Hard ground ball backhanded by the second baseman Holland. Throws to first in time, 2 away. The runner at second will move to third on the out at first. Here's the replay. Nice backhand play on the smash up the middle. So 2 outs. Runner at third base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at the plate. He's 0 for 1. Outside corner with the fastball, strike one. Vlad's hitting 400 with runners in scoring position. Ground ball knocked down by Robert Downey Jr. And he records the out. He tosses it underhand. Great play by Tony Stark to save a run. And after 4.5, it's the Hollywood Avengers 3. The Miami Marlins, nothing. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Up steps Don Cheadle, the center fielder. He flew out in the third. He's 0 for 1. Switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty starting pitcher. And it is a bouncing ball up the middle, backhanded by Howie Kendrick. Throws across. Gorgeous play for out number 1.
Now batting, number 9.
So Anthony Mackie steps up for his third plate appearance. The new Captain America is 0 for 2. Checked his swing, but the pitch was in there, strike one. And he pulls it foul up the third base line. Count is quickly. No balls and 2 strikes on Mackie. Backs him off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. This is Avengers Baseball. And that's a deep drive to center field, back to the track. Looking up at the wall. Mercado makes the catch. It died on the warning track for out number 2.
The batter, number 8, second baseman, Tom.
So 2 down, bases empty. Up steps Tom Holland. 1 for 2 with a single. 3-0 lead for the MCU here in the bottom of the fifth. And he skies it the other way. Long run for Bryce Harper, but he makes the over-the-shoulder running catch to retire the side. So it is an official ball game, ladies and gentlemen. 5 innings are complete. The Avengers lead 3-0. Top of the 6th. Keon Broxton only has 7 at-bats in the season. He's 1 for 7 this season. Here comes the pitch from Loki. Fouls it upstairs behind home plate, strike one. And he pulls it up the third base line, strike two. Count is quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Skies it to right center field. Racing over in towards the gap is Bautista. Drax makes the catch for out number 1. Next up is the center fielder Oscar Mercado, who's 0 for 1, hitting .256 on the season. And it's a topper in front of home plate. Out of his crouch is Evans. Throws to first in time, 2 away. Nice play by the first Avenger, Steve Rogers. 2 down, bases empty. The lineup turns over for Miami. Trey Turner, the shortstop, has struck out twice. Today he's 0 for 2. Fastball in there, strike one. So the Avengers are 36-21. When the game started, they were 1 game out of first place. Now they're a game and a half behind the LA Dodgers. We are approaching June in this fictional universe. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Count is 0-2 on Turner. Deep drive, racing over towards the left center of the gap is Idris Elba. Makes it over the shoulder running catch to retire the side. So after 5.5, it's the MCU 3 to nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so pitching for the Marlins in the bottom of the sixth is Ross Stripling, make his 26th appearance out of the bullpen. Record is 2-1 with a 3.41 earned run average. And leading off is Chadwick Boseman. He walked, he scored a run. Officially, he is 0 for 1 today. He's hitting .349 on the season. Wakanda forever. Smashes it, but it is a foul ball for strike number 1. Fastball low, count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Boseman. Checks the swing outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Miami Marlins bullpen is active. Devin Smeltzer, the left-hander, and John Brebbia, the right-hander, are getting loose. 2-1 count to Chadwick. Checks his swing, slider is low. Hitters count 3 balls and 1 strike. And he jams him inside with the fastball. Count will go full, 3-2. Stripling sets and delivers the payoff pitch. Ground ball through the left side. It is a base hit. It's a leadoff hit for the Avengers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 3-0 lead for the MCU. So next up is Chris Evans. Chris now bats from the left side against the righty Stripling. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Out in front of the fastball, strike 1. Swing and a miss. High pitch, but called a strike by the home plate umpire. The count is 0-2 on Evans. Runner leads off first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. In the dirt, blocked nicely. Again, unnecessary throw by Yadier Molina down to first. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on the hitter. And he jams him. It's headed into foul territory, but Yadier makes the catch for out number 1. Pop up in foul territory. And Evans is retired. Next up is Robert Downey Jr., 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th. And he chases a slider, fouls it off, strike 1. Pitch out, nothing doing. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Molina's got a great arm, throwing down to second base. In the dirt, blocked nicely. No advance, 2-1. And he pulls the fastball down the right field line, foul. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, runner leads off first. 3-0 lead for the MCU. And that is a pop-up into short right field. On the outfield grass is Kendrick. He makes the catch for out number 2. Nice pitch by Ross Stripling.
Now batting.
So next up is Mark Ruffalo. In the first at-bat, he had a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Here's a replay. He also has a sacrifice fly, so he's 1 for 1. Quick throw to first. Bozeman is back. 2 down, runner at first. It's the 6th inning here at Crosley Field. 3-0 lead for the Avengers. And he pulls the fastball foul down the left field line. Strike 1. Hard ground ball knocked over, caught cleanly by Howie Kendrick to retire the side. What a gorgeous play. So, after 6 innings of baseball, here in this first game of a 3-game series between these 2 ball clubs, the Avengers lead 3-0. So you go to the, bottom of the, no, check that, top of the 7th. Howie Kendrick now steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Tom has been cruising 6 shutout innings. That's a deep drive. That will be off the wall. Throw to second is not in time. It is a leadoff double for Howie Kendrick. He's 1 for 3. It's Kendrick's 9th double of the season. Oof, killed it. Next up is Bryce Harper, was 0 for 2. Two-seam fastball at the knees for strike 1. And he yanks the slider down the right field line, strike 2. Bryce is hitting .321 with runners in scoring position. And that's the situation we're in. Kendrick is leading off second with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Grounder up the middle, fielded by Anthony Mackie. Throws to first in time, 1 away. The runner will move to third. So there's a runner 90 feet away from first base. Check that, 90 feet away from scoring. Less than 2 outs. And up steps Max Muncy. Fouls it off, strike 1. So runner at third, 1 away. Can score without the benefit of a base hit. Pulls the slider foul. Count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes to Muncy, the first baseman. And he fouls it off again. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. There's 2 away, and he does not get the runner home. That's Loki's 5th strikeout of the ball game. Here's the replay. So 2 down. Runner is still at third, but now we'll need a hit to get him home. Yadier Molina is 1 for 2 with a double. Out in front of the slider, strike 1. Chases the slider again. 2 quick strikes on Molina. It's 0-2. And he pops him up. Easy play for Don Cheadle in center. And the side is retired, and Miami does not score. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on at the end of 6 innings. Check that. That's 7th inning stretch time. Get up and stretch, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 3-0 lead for the Avengers. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. John Brebbia comes in to pitch. He's 1-3 with a 5.17 earned run average. And leading off is Drax the Destroyer. 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Fastball low, ball 1. 2 balls and no strikes. Grounds it through the hole. Deep jump throw from Trey Turner is not in time. That'll be an infield single. So, leadoff single for Drax. And next up is Idris Elba. 0 for 2 today. Pulls it up the third baseline, foul, strike 1. Bautista leads off first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. It just gets a piece of the slider. Count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Hemdahl. Fastball inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Up the middle and through. It is a base hit. And the first 2 runners will be on here for the Avengers here in the bottom of the 7th. Ground ball with eyes. And Hemdahl is 1 for 3. Next up is Don Cheadle hitting from the left side against the righty Brebbia. He's 0 for 2. That's a hard ground ball base hit. He will hold it third. It'll be station to station. So it'll be bases loaded with nobody out here in the 7th. Grounder between short and third. Next up is the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, who's 0 for 3, but the bases are now loaded. Changeup finds the outside corner, strike 1. And he pops him up in the infield. Infield fly rule in effect. Turner makes the catch. There's 1 away. Nobody scores. So next up is Spider-Man. Tom Holland, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Only 1 out. Bases loaded. 3-0 lead for the Avengers. And that's a line drive caught by Towie Kendrick. And there's 2 outs. There were bases loaded and nobody out. And now there's bases loaded and 2 out. So, hard line drive, leaping catch by Howie Kendrick at second base to save at least 2 runs. Next up is Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, 1 for 2 with a single. 2 outs he needs to hit to score these runs. Let's see what happens. Late on the inside fastball, jammed him, strike 1. Chadwick's hitting .327 with runners in scoring position. That's the situation we're in right now. Pitch is high, checked it. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. That's a deep drive, but playable. And they will strand all 3 runners. They leave the bases loaded. So we go to the 8th. It's a 3-0 lead for the Avengers. Leading off the top of the 8th is Nicholas Castellanos, who's 0 for 2. Hiddleston's only thrown 67 pitches. Hard line drive to the left center. Check that right center field gap. Will roll all the way to the wall. It is a leadoff double for Castellanos here in the top of the 8th. This is 9th double of the season. Here's the replay. Next up is Vlad Guerrero Jr. Vlad is 0 for 2. Fly ball to left. Idris is there. He will make the catch for out number 1. Starter comparison, as you can see, while Julio has pitched fairly well, Tom wins the day. 7 innings of 3-hit ball, 5 strikeouts. Next up is Oscar Mercado. No, check that. Keon Broxton, who's 0 for 2, 1 for 8 for his season. Runner in scoring position at second. Fastball outside, ball 1. 23,151 here in attendance at Crosley Field. Close to a sellout. Grounder past the drawn-in infield and through. He will hold at third base. Runners at first and third and only 1 out. He was on the infield grass guarding against the bunt and got past him. So next up is the center fielder, Oscar Mercado. 0 for 2. Fastball in there, strike 1. Tying run is at the plate. Grounder through. It is an RBI single for Oscar Mercado, and the shutout is finished. It is a 3-1 lead here in the 8th. Runners again at first and third with still only one out. Now the tying run is at first base. Before Trey Turner steps to the plate, let's go to the manager's office in the bullpen. And let's warm up. Let's warm up Sam Jackson and Jeremy Renner. And let's go to a mound visit. Send the pitching coach out there to slow things down. So Trey Turner has got a lot of speed, but he's 0 for 3. Jams him. Foul territory. There is Tony Stark. He makes the catch. And the runner at third does not score. There's 2 away. Nice pitch by Hiddleston. Next up is Howie Kendrick. He doubled in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 3. Checks a swing at the knees or perhaps lower, but called a strike by the home plate umpire. Count is 0-1. Misses outside with the breaking ball. Count evens 1 ball and 1 strike. Checks a swing, but it's in there. 1-2. And he jams him. Shallow fly ball. Racing in is Don Cheadle. War Machine makes the catch to retire the side, but the shutout is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Hollywood Avengers leading 3-1. Once a game, I show the difficulty level. As Joseph Shaw comes in relief, and Chris Evans steps to the plate. We'll go over to options. I'll show you the gameplay. The hitting difficulty is at the All-Star, and the pitching difficulty is also at All-Star. I'd like to show that once again. So leading off from the bottom of the 8th is Chris Evans, 0 for 2, with a walk. And that's a line drive headed down the right field line. It careens off the wall. He makes the turn at first, heads to second. He will be in there with a leadoff double. That's his first hit of the game. He is 1 for 3. Double number 12 on the season. Here's the replay. No chance for the first baseman. Next up is Robert Downey Jr. 1 for 3 with the single. And he wraps it into the seats for strike 1. Evans leads off second. Here's the pitch. And he skies it high and deep, but curling out of play for strike 2. Tony Stark's hitting .339 with runners in scoring position. This will be an important insurance run. It's a 2-run lead. In the dirt, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
3-1 lead for the Avengers here in the bottom of the 8th. High, ball 2, count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a line drive, base hit and through. He had to hold up, but he's making the turn and he's heading home, and he's going to make it. Actually, it's a single, an RBI single for Tony Stark, and he gets caught trying to take second base. They tag him out for out number 1. 4-1 lead for the Avengers. Pitch it to Mark Ruffalo's inside. He's 1 for 2. He's got a homer and a sacrifice fly today. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So bases empty, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. To the second baseman. Fields, fires, got him. There's 2 away. And before Dave Bautista comes up to the plate, we go to the bullpen, and we're bringing Jeremy Renner in to pitch the 9th. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Dave Bautista's 2 for 3. I guess the pitch was low. It looked like it was on the outside corner, and he's not sure where it was either. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Bautista. That's a line drive base hit. He's got 3 hits today. So, runner at first, 2 away, and the inning will continue.
The batter, number 63.
Next up is Idris Elba. 1 for 3 with a single. And he pulls the breaking ball into the seats for strike 1. He's hitting .302 on the season. Bautista leads off first. And he pulls it foul up the third base line. Count is 0-2 on Elba. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner leads off first. 4-1 lead for the Avengers. Quick throw to first. He's back. Shaw sets and delivers. And that's a 1-hopper to the second baseman. Kendrick tosses to Trey Turner at second to retire the side. So we go to the top of the 9th, last licks for the Miami Marlins. They need 3 runs to tie. It's a 4-1 lead for the Avengers. Do you want to change pitchers? Yes, I do. In relief, Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, the closer. His record is 0-2. He has 11 saves and 13 opportunities, but his ERA is high. It's 6.92. So he'd like to get that down. Leading off is Bryce Harper. 4-1 lead for the Avengers. This is a save opportunity. Yanks the fastball foul, strike 1. And he pulls this one into the seats. Count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Harper. Swing and a miss out in front of the slider. Struck him out, and there's 1 away here in the 9th. The line for Loki, 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He is in line for win number 8. He's chasing his brother in the win column. Thor Odinson has 9 wins. So Max Muncy steps up to the plate. 1 away here in the 9th. Slider inside, ball 1. Muncy's 0 for 3. 2-seam fastball in there, strike 1. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss at the slider, strike 2. Just gets a piece of the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Chases a 2-seam fastball, strikes him out swinging. There are 2 away, and the Miami Marlins are down to their final out of the game. Next up is Yadier Molina. He represents that final out. He's 1 for 3 with a double. At the knees, strike 1. Pulls the slider foul, and the Marlins are down to their final strike of the game. Swing and a miss, struck him out, side retired, ball game over. Avengers win 4-1. They have taken this first game of a 3-game set at home against the Miami Marlins. The Avengers are now 37-21 on the season. They started out 1 game behind the first place Los Angeles Dodgers in the division, so they're probably still 1 game back of the division lead. Winning pitcher is Tom Hiddleston, Loki, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has 8 wins on the season. And let's look at the stat sheet. So, Hollywood Avengers, 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Miami Marlins, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Again, Hiddleston is the winner, his 8th. Julio Arias is the loser. Jeremy Renner gets save number 12 on the season. And, of course, the player of the game is Tom Hiddleston. This has been a broadcast of Avengers Baseball. I am RC Robbin. Thank you for joining me. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope to see you again this season. And if baseball is not your thing, please check out some of the other playlists on my channel. A lot of different variety there to be watched and seen, liked and subscribed. So the final here at Crosley Field, the Hollywood Avengers win 4-1. Thanks so much. Have yourself a great night.